So today I just finished watching the Throne and Liberty Director's preview, in which that they detailed out some new information for us, which has me personally excited, and I want to share it with you in this video today, but also just some general questions and thoughts that I have after having watched this video. Now I'll include a link in the description if you want to go jump and check it out for yourself if you haven't seen this in your feed. I know I didn't, and the MMO Ronin, aka DeathMonkey XL, he sent this over to me over on Twitter, so thank you so much, DeathMonkey, for providing me this video, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brian, if you happen to be new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back for these MMO discussions and breakout sessions that we have, and we'll be having lately. Now, if you guys haven't seen Throne and Liberty, this was originally Lineage 3. It's been in development for a long time. 5 years ago, it transitioned into what is now Throne and Liberty, and it was set to come out in 2022, but it did not miss the mark and has shifted to 2023. Rumors around this game persist that Amazon actually might be the publisher, but we do not have official words at the time of this recording. I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date on if and when that happens. Now, for those of you who are also asking, this is coming to console. They say console and PC, plus they want to allow you to stream it to your mobile phone or device, which has me hopeful that in terms of the PC thing, we might see like GeForce Now and other options and ways to play it, because if they're going to let somebody stream it to their phone, well, I think that's fascinating from an accessibility perspective, from a checking in gameplay perspective, but I don't do a lot of phone gaming personally, but I know that that's obviously a big chunk of the world. Now, NCSoft is also a, kind of a contributor. They're a big part of this, and that does have, and people will probably sound off in the comments about their concerns about monetization, of which they really haven't shared much, but I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date as we learn more. Now, here's where things get generally curious and fascinating for me. They say the goal of this from a Throne and a Liberty perspective, Throne is combat and content and this optional PvP system that we'll talk about here in a minute. And then the Liberty is the freedom, the character creation, the exploration, the ability to get around the world itself. And honestly, it's a good pitch. Like, it's a great sales and marketing pitch that they put together, because I think this essentially encapsulates a lot of things that are appealing about the MMO genre. But here's where things get a little bit interesting, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this one specifically. They say they have developed this game with countless numbers of concurrent players. And I can read this a couple of different ways. Are we going to see server architecture, or are we going to see something like Blue Protocol's doing with more of the drop in, drop out multiplayer, where the game just kind of handles your server for you and the rest of it is just managed? They talk about and show off, obviously, lots of characters playing, in the same space. And I mean, a lot of characters, the battles and the fights and the combat look generally top notch. Like, to a degree that if it plays as good as it looks, if it's as optimized as what they showed us today versus what they showed us a couple of months ago, there's a real good possibility Throne and Liberty might be at least something that you're willing to check out. Again, monetization, we don't know what it's going to be like. And at the end of the day, I think that's going to be, and usually ends up being, kind of a make or break for these kind of games, especially when you launch an MMO. No MMO has yet to be able to launch with as much content as an established MMO. It just seems to be the general rule. I don't write the rules, I just call them out, and that's just how it ends up being. And so whenever monetization becomes kind of the be-all end-all, typically people might just feel more comfortable with the massive amount of content that they have probably yet to do versus kind of the riskiness of, yeah, there's content that's on its way. So there's a lot of like unknowns, but I'm not sitting here dogging it. I'm just saying that's the reality of new MMO launches, and they can be and tend to be quite exciting outside of general server and stability issues. Again, no launch date as well, so I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Now, if you made it all right into this part of the video, thank you so much. If you feel like these discussions and breakouts deserve it, hit that like button, and if you do so, here's a picture of a cool shark as a thank you. So thanks for doing that, and hopefully you guys enjoy that shark. Now, I want to talk a little bit about kind of what they talked about with PvP, because when it comes down to it, there's a couple of things coming, in play, and I can't wait till I can really learn more and really dissect this game hands-on for you. But when it comes down to it, they say that there's like PvP and there's optional PvP in the regards that everything's pretty much safe. You're not going to worry about people running up and, and fighting you, but occasionally little breakouts and regional events will occur, and you can opt into those. And I think that sounds interesting because that also makes it sound kind of focused. And from everything they shared, it sounds like these matches or these little breakouts tend to be around 20 minutes or so for the match. They also then go into kind of the fact they have a guild wars system in which that there are 2 objectives, and getting these stones actually these objectives allow you to enhance your guild. And so basically they say that's the blessing stone and the dimension stone, and together they're called the possession stones. Having these are going to allow you to enhance your guild capabilities, such as the procurement of and necessary raw materials, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, to get these stones, apparently these are going to be the tough battles that you as a guild have to go through. And to get the upper hand, you also must really fully understand the terrain, because if you guys haven't seen the terrain on this game and the navigation and it looks very fluid. Looks incredibly fluid. This game looks breathtaking. And what I'm about to say isn't to try and deflate anybody's hype for Throne and Liberty. It's just how I perceive these things. When it comes to action, especially action combat in these kind of games, it's all in how it feels in the hands, whether you're mouse, keyboard, or controller. Being that this is console, that I'm excited the fact that I'll be able to play with a controller, and we will be making sure we put some guides out there for you guys as well as a controller player. But it's all going to be how it feels in the hands. And from this feel, the entire time I'm watching this, I don't know if anybody else is going to resonate with what I'm about to say, but we're going to just say it. I kind of feel like a 16 vibe, Final Fantasy 16 vibe, filling itself in. The world is breathtaking. The characters are breathtaking. The gameplay is breathtaking. And surprise, surprise, Final Fantasy 16 is also breathtaking. And I think this is going to be something interesting to see how it fits into the overall lexicon of games. Now, they go on to talk about how the combat specifically is the roles are weapons based. It's about you can swap your weapons. I'm not 100% positive on what I'm about to say, so forgive me if I get any of the facts wrong. But it sounds like you can have kind of 2 weapons, kind of like New World, that allows you to switch and kind of adjust your weapons and how your play style kind of affects. So it's kind of a free class based system, and I love that. I love player choice, and that also means that anytime that they introduce a weapon in the road, it's like the entire sandbox changes. So this is going to be a game that obviously gets updates, and as they add in weapons, you could end up seeing, quite a bit of excitement each and every time one of these weapons comes out, because that's foundationally changing how everything works together. But again, it's just going to be how it feels, and everything they've shown looks like it's going to feel pretty daggum good. So honestly, I'm kind of rooting for them to pull it off. Throne of Liberty is, especially because it's built off kind of lineage, I'm going to be curious to see if they've kept any of that lore and history and story. Lineage being one of the most popular MMOs especially from Korea originally, and that's where this is going to be. At the end of the day, it's going to be, and I know we're going to get the comments about monetization and how, there's no matter what, until people can go hands-on, there will always continue to be concern and fears over monetization, and sometimes they pan out correctly, and sometimes they're an overabundance of concern. And at the end of the day, I think every gamer knows that games need to make money, but it feels like we're hopefully getting into kind of a right way and kind of a player-centric way versus something that just feels predatory. But yeah, lots to talk about with this game here in 2023. I wanted to share my thoughts, especially after this latest video. It looks great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and the visuals, the combat, and more. And I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date on more Throne of Liberty and more MMO developments as the days and the weeks continue on here. If you guys check out my next video, I appreciate you. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't, if you like these kind of videos and discussions. And then also be sure to keep it locked here in 2023, as there is a ton of games. There's a lot of games not making it in 2023. Perhaps we should talk about those specifically. I just did a video on Pantheon, and I know that Ashes of Creation is not coming out in 2023 for release. I hope that we'll see an Alpha 2 in 2023, and maybe we'll talk about that in an upcoming video. But guys, for Ginger Prime, my name is Brian. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you next time. But until then, take care.